Isn't it funny how something so small can bring so much joy? Maltesers have been making us smile for years. Crispy, chocolatey, and always just right. But what's their secret? Is it the crunch, the smooth chocolate, or the memories they bring, movie nights, sneaky handfuls, and sharing with friends? Well, let's find out how Maltesers are made in a factory. Before we get started, be sure to subscribe to the Process Powerhouse channel. Leave us a comment to let us know what mealtime favorites you'd like to see next. And hey, maybe one day they'll uncover a bag of Maltesers from the past, still as perfect as the first bite. Maltesers, those tasty little chocolate-covered balls, have a history almost as sweet as their taste. They were first introduced in 1937 by Mars, right when the world was facing a chocolate shortage because of World War II. Instead of sticking to their usual treats, the folks at Mars decided to create something light, crunchy, and a bit different. Thus, Maltesers were born. They weren't just another chocolate, they were something special, made to stand out in a time when choices were few. If chocolate had a VIP club, Maltesers would be the guest of honor. They were marketed as a lighter chocolate treat, which was a smart move. Who doesn't feel a little better about snacking when you can tell yourself it's lighter? As if a few hundred Maltesers don't count toward your snack quota. The best part was that it wasn't just clever marketing. The airy malted center actually made them feel less heavy than regular chocolate bars. It was like the perfect treat, guilt-free, or at least a little less guilty. The name came from malt, which gives that crispy crunch, and teasers. Because, let's be real, trying to eat just one Malteser is nearly impossible. If you've ever had that one friend who finishes the bag before the movie ends, you get why teasers fits so well. Over the years, Maltesers became a popular classic with an interesting twist. In the 1970s, they were actually marketed as a diet chocolate. It was the time of eat less, weigh less. And for a short while, Maltesers were the go-to treat for people watching their weight. Of course, that was probably before we realized eating a whole bag might not exactly make us lighter. But who's counting? We all know the truth. Just because something's lighter in texture doesn't mean you can't eat a ton of it. It was a clever marketing trick that worked, letting us enjoy our favorite snack while feeling like we were being sensible. Maltesers made us think we could treat ourselves without the guilt. Today, Maltesers are more popular than ever. They've become so well known that they're a part of pop culture. If you're watching a movie, there's a good chance a bag of Maltesers is nearby. They've gone from a wartime snack to a regular in snack aisles everywhere. And let's be honest, who hasn't secretly hoped to find the perfect Malteser at the bottom of the bag? The one that's just the right size and perfectly round, waiting to be the last bite of happiness? Maltesers have stood the test of time, becoming more than just a snack. They're now part of everyday life. Just like popcorn at the movies, we've come to expect Maltesers to be there, ready to satisfy our sweet cravings. Next time you pop a Malteser into your mouth, remember, you're not just enjoying a piece of chocolate, you're indulging in a snack with a rich, and surprisingly light, history. And as they say, some things only get better with time. Even if they're still as tasty as ever, it's like the treat that never gets old. Always the perfect mix of crunchy and creamy, no matter the decade. Whether you're enjoying an old favorite or sharing it with a new generation, one thing's for sure, Maltesers are here to stay. Enough history. Let's take a look inside the factory. Every Malteser starts with sourcing the best ingredients, like malted barley, sugar, cocoa, and milk powder. The malted barley is especially important because it gives Maltesers their crispy, airy texture. Mars works with trusted farmers to make sure they get the best barley, partnering with suppliers around the world to meet high-quality standards. This attention to detail makes sure that every Malteser has that satisfying crunch. Without the right barley, the crispy melt-in-your-mouth texture that makes Maltesers special wouldn't be the same. It's not just about the barley. Cocoa, which gives the rich chocolate coating, comes from places like West Africa and South America. Mars makes sure their cocoa is responsibly sourced from farms that follow ethical practices. They only work with suppliers who meet fair trade standards or similar certifications. This ensures cocoa farmers get a fair wage and supports eco-friendly farming, like reducing deforestation and using fewer pesticides. Mars also invests in projects that help farmers improve their productivity and lives, making the cocoa supply chain more sustainable. Milk powder is another key ingredient, adding the creamy richness that pairs perfectly with the crunchy malt. Mars makes sure to get high-quality milk from trusted dairies to keep the taste and texture consistent. The milk used in Maltesers has to meet strict standards to make sure the final product tastes just right. Mars also considers how the ingredients are packaged, transported, and handled to reduce their environmental impact. For example, they work on lowering the carbon footprint of their supply chain, aiming to make Maltesers with the least impact on the environment while maintaining top quality. Sustainability goes beyond just sourcing ingredients. Mars is working on improving packaging to reduce waste and make it more recyclable. Their goal is to make all packaging recyclable or reusable by 2025. It's not just about making a great chocolate treat. It's about making sure future generations can enjoy Maltesers in a sustainable world. This approach helps Maltesers stay a delicious snack while protecting the planet's future. The heart of Maltesers is their malted center. The process starts by turning malted barley into malted milk powder, which gives them their crispy texture. First, the barley is roasted to bring out its rich flavor. This step is key because it adds the unique taste that makes Maltesers special. It's like slow cooking a stew. The longer you roast the barley, the richer the flavor gets. After roasting, the barley is ground into a fine powder, which is then mixed with milk powder, sugar, and other ingredients. This creates a dough-like mixture, and this is where the magic of Maltesers begins. The dough is carefully mixed to make sure all the ingredients are spread evenly. This step is important because even a small change in the mixture can affect the final texture. The dough needs to be just right, too thick, and it becomes heavy, too thin, and it loses its crispness. Once it's perfectly mixed, it's fed into a machine that shapes it into small, round pieces. This process ensures every Malteser is the perfect size for a bite-sized snack. It's a careful step where attention to detail is key to getting the right texture and shape. Next comes the puffing process. The malt mixture is heated and pressed, making it expand into light, airy balls. This step is key because it gives Maltesers their crispy texture. The result is a center that's not only crispy, but so light it melts in your mouth. The puffing process is tricky. Getting the right amount of heat and pressure ensures the malt isn't too dense or too airy. The result is a perfect mix of crunch and melt-in-your-mouth goodness. To get the perfect puff, the temperature and timing must be carefully controlled. Even a small change could make the batch too crunchy or too soft, so Mars uses advanced technology to keep it just right. The malted balls are then cooled before moving on to the next step, where they'll be coated in chocolate. Cooling is important because it stops them from melting or sticking together, making sure each piece stays separate and easy to handle. After the malt mixture is puffed and cooled, it's shaped into small, round balls. These little pieces are made to be the perfect size for a quick snack. The shaping process is done carefully to make sure each ball has the right size for that signature Malteser crunch. The balls need to be small enough to eat in one bite, but big enough to give a satisfying crunch. The uniform shape makes sure every piece has the same crispy texture every time. Once shaped, the malt balls are placed into a machine that pops them. This machine makes the balls bigger by expanding the malted dough, creating a lighter, crispier texture. This step gives Maltesers their unique, airy center. The process is carefully watched to make sure the balls don't get too big or lose their crunch. It's important to get the right balance to keep that perfect texture, which is why puffing is such a key part of making Maltesers. The expansion gives them their lightness, making Maltesers a one-of-a-kind snack. During this stage, the malt texture is tested regularly to make sure it's light and crispy. The goal is to make a treat that feels almost weightless, but still has that satisfying crunch. The expansion process isn't just about making them light. It's about getting the perfect texture that pairs well with the milk chocolate coating. After popping, the malt balls are cooled again to keep their shape before the chocolate coating. Cooling is important to stop the balls from getting too soft or melting before they're coated, so they stay crispy. Finally, the freshly popped malt balls are ready to be coated. Before they're dipped in chocolate, the quality control team checks them to make sure they're all the same. If any balls are the wrong shape, size, or texture, they're removed to keep everything perfect. This check makes sure only the best balls make it through, so every Malteser in the bag is a great mix of crispy malt and smooth chocolate. Now comes the fun part, the chocolate coating. The puffed malt balls move along a conveyor belt, passing through machines that coat them with a smooth layer of milk chocolate. This step is tricky because the goal is to give each ball a thin, even layer of chocolate, just enough to create a creamy outer shell that goes well with the crispy malt center. The process involves careful measurements to make sure the chocolate is perfectly tempered for that glossy, smooth finish. Mars uses a special method to temper the chocolate before putting it on the malt balls. This makes sure the chocolate has the right texture and shine. Tempering means carefully heating and cooling the chocolate to control the cocoa butter crystals. This gives the chocolate a shiny finish and a satisfying snap when you bite into it. The chocolate is then poured over the malt balls evenly, making sure each one is coated just right. This way, every bite tastes as good as the last. The coating machine makes sure each malt ball is fully covered in chocolate with no empty spots. The chocolate layer has to be just right. If it's too thick, the Maltesers lose their crunch. If it's too thin, the chocolate doesn't shine through. It's all about getting the right balance between the chocolate and malt to create the perfect taste and texture. Every piece that comes out is just right. After being coated, the Maltesers are gently shaken to get rid of any extra chocolate. Then they go through cooling. This helps the chocolate harden and gives it the right texture. Once cooled, they're checked to make sure every piece has the perfect mix of crispy malt and smooth chocolate. This attention to detail makes sure each Malteser is just as good from the first bite to the last. After the chocolate is applied, the Maltesers are cooled in a controlled room to help the chocolate harden properly. If it cools too fast, it might crack or look dull. And if it cools too slowly, it may lose its shiny finish. The cooling process is carefully timed to make sure each Malteser gets that perfect look and feel, like letting a painting dry at the right pace. While cooling, the Maltesers are carefully checked for any problems, like uneven sizes, chocolate coating, or defects in the malt center. If anything doesn't meet the standards, it's taken out and fixed. This check happens throughout the process to make sure only the best Maltesers make it to packaging. Quality control ensures that every bag you open has perfectly made treats with the same great taste and texture every time. The quality checks don't just look at size or shape. Maltesers are also checked to make sure the chocolate coating is shiny and smooth on every piece. This is important because people expect the same glossy finish every time. The chocolate is also checked for its snap, which shows it's the right texture. The final check makes sure everything about the Maltesers, taste, texture, and look, meets the high standards so you get the same great snack each time. Once the Maltesers pass the quality check, they're ready to be packaged and sent to stores. Before that, they're carefully stored to avoid any damage. The factory makes sure they're kept at the right temperature to stop them from melting or going bad. This way, when you open a bag of Maltesers, they're just as fresh and tasty as when they were first made. Once the Maltesers pass the quality check, they move to packaging. The first step is weighing them to make sure each bag has the right amount. It's not just about the quantity though. The bags also need to protect the Maltesers during transport. That's why the bags have extra space inside, so the Maltesers can move around without getting crushed. The bags are sealed tightly to keep the Maltesers fresh. Each bag is checked for any issues, like leaks or tears, that could affect the product. After sealing, they get labels with important details like expiration dates and batch numbers. The bags are also designed to catch the eye with bright, recognizable branding. Once packed, they're ready to be shipped to stores worldwide. Packaging not only protects the product, but also helps with the brand's sustainability efforts. Mars is working to reduce its environmental impact by using recyclable materials. The company plans to make all its packaging recyclable by 2025, which will help cut down on plastic waste. This commitment is part of Mars's larger goal to reduce its environmental footprint and support recycling. The bags are designed to be easy to recycle and reuse, keeping the future in mind. After being packaged, the Maltesers are ready to be sent out to stores. Before they get to the shelves, though, they need to be delivered to customers quickly and efficiently. Once the bags of Maltesers are sealed and labeled, they're placed in large boxes for shipping. These boxes are sent to distribution centers, where they're sorted and prepared for delivery to stores. The goal is to get the Maltesers to stores quickly so they stay fresh. The shipping process uses trucks, trains, and ships to move the boxes from the factories to the warehouses. When the Maltesers reach regional warehouses, they're ready to be sent to local stores. Whether it's a small shop or a big supermarket, they need to be placed and displayed right so customers can find them. This involves working with retailers to make sure the products are in the right spots and displayed in a way that attracts shoppers. The distribution process is carefully planned to meet customer needs. Mars works with retailers and delivery partners to make sure the products are available when and where needed. Whether in stores or online, the goal is to make Maltesers easy to find. With Mars reaching over 100 countries, new markets are always opening up. Maltesers are popular for a few simple reasons. The mix of a crispy malt center and smooth milk chocolate creates a taste and texture that's hard to beat. It's light but still satisfying, making it the perfect snack for many situations. Whether you're enjoying a movie night or sharing with friends, Maltesers are a go-to treat for lots of people. Maltesers have stayed popular because they've always been consistent and high quality. From using the best ingredients to perfecting the coating and texture, Mars has maintained the same high standards for years. People know exactly what to expect with each bite, and that trust has kept Maltesers a favorite snack. The brand also keeps things fresh while staying true to what made it so loved, making it popular with new generations. Maltesers' focus on sustainability also helps keep them popular. With more attention on ethical sourcing, recyclable packaging, and taking care of the environment, Maltesers continue to grow in a way that appeals to today's mindful shoppers. This mix of tradition, quality, and smart practices has helped the product stay as loved as ever. In conclusion, Maltesers stay popular because of their great taste, texture, and consistency, along with the brand's focus on sustainability and quality. This combination has made them a favorite treat for chocolate lovers everywhere. Whether it's the crunchy center, smooth chocolate, or the fun of sharing, Maltesers keep bringing joy to snackers around the world. Stick around, there's even more exciting moments and processes coming up next. Remember when Butterfingers were the best candy to sneak into class or hide in your backpack? For years, they were the go-to treat for anyone who loved that crunchy, peanut buttery taste. But then something changed. The recipe changed, and people started wondering, was the Butterfinger we loved still the same? Well, let's find out how Butterfingers are made in a factory. Before we get started, be sure to subscribe to the Process Powerhouse channel. Leave us a comment to let us know what mealtime favorites you'd like to see next. And if Butterfingers are as tough as they say, maybe they'll survive a zombie apocalypse. In 1923, something new and tasty changed the candy world. Butterfinger. Made by the Curtis Candy Company, this candy bar quickly became a favorite. Its mix of crunchy peanut butter covered in smooth chocolate made it stand out from other snacks. The name Butterfinger wasn't random. It was chosen because it sounded as slippery as the treat itself. After all, how many times have you tried to eat a Butterfinger without getting peanut butter on your fingers? It was a candy bar that left you scrambling for napkins, and maybe even wiping off your shirt. The mess just added to the fun, because who doesn't enjoy a little chaos with their candy? It wasn't just the name that made Butterfinger special, It was the way it grabbed people's attention. The candy bar's unique texture changed the candy game. Before Butterfinger, peanut butter in candy bars wasn't a big deal. It was usually hidden or squished between chocolate layers. But Butterfinger did things differently. The crispy, crunchy peanut butter center, almost like peanut brittle, gave it a texture you could hear with every bite, a satisfying crunch that made it an instant favorite. In the 1980s, Butterfinger became a pop culture icon. It wasn't just the taste that kept people coming back. It was the ads, especially the unforgettable partnership with Bart Simpson. With his rebellious attitude, Bart and Butterfinger were the perfect match. "Nobody better lay a finger on my Butterfinger," he famously said, making the candy bar all about mischief, chaos, and attitude. Bart wasn't just promoting a candy bar. He was making it clear that messing with a Butterfinger meant messing with him. It was a time of cartoon chaos, and Butterfinger was right in the middle of it. Even as time went on, Butterfinger didn't stay the same. It wasn't happy with just one flavor. Over the years, it tried new flavors and textures, adding limited edition varieties, and even launching Butterfinger peanut butter cups. The candy's journey was full of sweet peanut butter goodness, sometimes smooth, sometimes crunchy, but always addictive. The brand even updated its recipe to attract a new generation, changing the texture and packaging. Some people might say it wasn't the same as the original, but Butterfinger was never afraid to make a bold move. And let's not forget the famous wrappers. The bright yellow and red packaging became part of the brand, letting everyone know they were about to enjoy something special. Even the catchy jingles from the commercials stuck with us. How many of us still remember the "nobody better lay a finger" line? No matter how many changes Butterfinger has had, one thing stays the same. It always brings joy, memories, and a bit of mess. Whether you're enjoying the classic Butterfinger bar, a Butterfinger cup, or a new flavor, that crunchy peanut butter is a reminder of childhood, a time when candy was all about fun and not worrying about sticky fingers. Now, let's dive into how Butterfinger is made in the factory. Making a Butterfinger starts with choosing the best ingredients from different places. These ingredients create the candy bar's unique taste and texture. The main ingredients are peanuts, sugar, corn syrup, chocolate, and palm oil. Each one is carefully picked to make sure the final product is top quality. Peanuts are the main ingredient in Butterfinger, giving it its crunchy texture and nutty flavor. Most of the peanuts come from the southern US, where the warm climate and good soil help them grow well. Farmers carefully watch over the crops to keep them healthy and free from pests and disease, using modern farming methods. After harvesting, the peanuts are sorted to pick out the best ones. They are then roasted to bring out their flavor, giving Butterfinger its distinct taste. The roasting process needs just the right amount of heat. Too little, and they stay bland; too much, and they burn. The perfect roast makes the peanuts taste rich and caramelized. The next key ingredients are sugar and corn syrup, which help give Butterfinger its sweetness and texture. Sugar comes from either sugar beets or sugarcane and is turned into a pure, granular form. Corn syrup is made from corn and keeps the filling smooth by preventing the sugars from crystallizing. This helps the peanut butter filling have the right consistency when poured into molds. Without corn syrup, the candy would be too hard to bite into. The syrup gives the candy a chewy, melt-in-your-mouth texture while keeping the peanut butter crisp. The chocolate coating is an important part of Butterfinger, as it wraps around the peanut butter core and adds a smooth contrast to the crunch. The chocolate comes from high-quality cocoa beans, mainly from regions near the equator like Ghana, the Ivory Coast, and Indonesia. These beans are processed into cocoa liquor, cocoa butter, and cocoa powder. The beans are harvested, fermented, and dried over a few weeks. Once they arrive at the factory, they're refined and mixed with sugar, milk solids, and other ingredients to create the creamy chocolate that covers the peanut butter. Cocoa butter is key for giving the chocolate its smooth texture and rich consistency, while the added sugar and milk solids make it sweet and balanced with the salty peanut butter. Lastly, palm oil is added to the chocolate mix to improve its texture and stability. It helps the chocolate stay smooth at room temperature, stopping it from becoming too soft or brittle. Palm oil also makes sure the chocolate covers the peanut butter evenly, giving Butterfinger bars their shiny look. It's often used in candy because it has a high melting point, which helps keep the chocolate firm during shipping or handling. It also helps the chocolate stay stable while stored, so Butterfinger bars keep their great texture on store shelves. Once the ingredients arrive at the Butterfinger factory, the process of making the peanut butter core starts. This core is key to the candy bar's unique crunch, so every step is important. First, the peanuts. A main ingredient are roasted. The roasting process is carefully controlled to bring out the nutty flavor and make them extra crispy. The peanuts are roasted in large ovens set to a specific temperature and watched closely to avoid burning. After roasting, the peanuts are cooled to room temperature before being processed. Once cooled, the peanuts are ground into a fine paste. But this paste isn't like regular peanut butter. It's made to have a brittle, almost crystal-like texture that's different from the smooth peanut butter in other candy bars. To make this, the peanuts are mixed with sugar, corn syrup, and other ingredients to create a sticky, syrupy paste that keeps its shape. This sticky mix is important for getting the right crunch in the candy. The sugar adds sweetness, and the corn syrup helps keep the texture smooth but firm enough for that signature crunch. The paste is then poured into large molds and left to cool and harden. This step is key to getting the right texture for the Butterfinger. As it cools, it becomes the crisp, brittle center that makes the candy bar special. The temperature and cooling time need to be just right. If it cools too fast, it can get too hard and brittle, affecting the texture. If it cools too slowly, it might stay soft and sticky, losing the crunch. The cooling process is carefully watched to make sure the perfect crunchiness and brittleness are achieved. The texture of the core is what makes Butterfinger different from other peanut butter candies. The team uses special cooling systems to control temperature changes, making sure every batch has the same crunchy texture. These systems are important for keeping the cooling process even, so the texture stays perfect. The cooling area also has humidity controls because moisture can affect the peanut butter filling. By controlling both temperature and humidity, the factory creates the ideal environment for cooling. The molds are designed to rotate slowly, ensuring that the cooling happens evenly, and no part of the mixture cools too fast or too slow. This slow rotation helps the peanut butter mixture cool consistently, keeping the same crunchy texture in every batch. This careful approach to cooling is important for getting the texture that Butterfinger fans love. By focusing on every detail, from mixing the ingredients right to controlling the temperature and humidity, the factory makes sure each Butterfinger has the perfect core with that signature crunch. Once the peanut butter core has set, it's time to cover it with the delicious chocolate that makes Butterfinger so special. The chocolate is melted in large vats and mixed to make it smooth and shiny. The temperature at which the chocolate is melted is important. If it gets too hot, it can lose its silky texture. To avoid this, the chocolate is carefully melted to the right temperature. Once it's ready, it goes through a tempering process where it's heated, cooled, and then heated again. This helps stabilize the cocoa butter, giving the chocolate its smooth, shiny finish when it hardens. Tempering is important because it gives the chocolate its shine and the right texture. Without it, the chocolate could turn dull, grainy, or uneven, making the finish less than perfect. Properly tempered chocolate snaps when you bite into it, improving the Butterfinger experience. Once the chocolate is ready, the peanut butter cores are dipped or covered in the melted chocolate. The bars move through a machine that coats each one evenly, making sure every bar has a smooth, consistent layer of chocolate. The enrobing machine is key to making sure each Butterfinger bar is coated evenly with chocolate. It ensures the chocolate layer is consistent on every bar, helping the candy look good and taste great. The machine moves quickly, applying the right amount of chocolate so the peanut butter core remains the focus, while the smooth chocolate adds a nice contrast to the crunchy filling. After the chocolate is applied, the candy bars move through a cooling tunnel, where the temperature is carefully controlled to help the chocolate set just right. This ensures the chocolate hardens at the perfect rate, firm but smooth, so that it melts nicely in your mouth. The cooling tunnel also keeps the chocolate shiny, giving each Butterfinger its attractive finish. This step ensures that every Butterfinger bar has the same high-quality chocolate coating, adding to its overall appeal. During production, Butterfinger bars go through strict quality checks to make sure each one is top quality. After the peanut butter core is coated with chocolate, the bars are inspected for consistency, texture, and appearance. These checks are important to ensure every Butterfinger has the same great taste, texture, and look. Machines check the weight and size of each Butterfinger bar to make sure they're all the same. Bars that are too big or too small are taken off the line. This helps ensure every Butterfinger is the right size for customers. Workers also check the bars for any flaws in the chocolate coating. If a bar has cracks or a poor coating, it's either fixed or thrown away. This step makes sure only perfect Butterfingers move forwards. The chocolate coating is tested to make sure it's smooth and even. Quality control checks the thickness to ensure each bar is coated the same. This step makes sure there are no air pockets or uneven chocolate layers, which could affect taste and texture. If any bars don't meet the standards, they are fixed before moving on. This ensures that only high-quality Butterfingers are packaged. Once the candy bars pass all quality checks, they move on to the wrapping and packaging stage, which helps keep the product fresh. The Butterfinger wrappers are designed with bright yellow and red colors, making them easy to recognize. Each wrapper has important information, like ingredients, nutritional facts, and barcodes for tracking. The wrappers are made of foil, which protects the chocolate from light and air, both of which can affect the chocolate over time. The foil helps keep the candy bars fresh, ensuring they stay just as tasty and crispy as consumers expect. The wrapping process is fully automated. Butterfingers are placed on a conveyor belt, where machines automatically wrap each bar in its foil wrapper. The machine makes sure the candy bars are sealed tightly, keeping out moisture or anything else that could affect the product. This step is important to make sure customers get a fresh candy bar every time. After the bars are wrapped, they are put into bigger boxes for shipment. The boxes are packed carefully to prevent any damage during transit, so the candy bars arrive at distribution centers in perfect condition. The packaging process also involves labeling each box with shipping details like the destination, weight, and quantity. The boxes are then stacked onto pallets and prepared for shipping. This ensures that the bars are correctly labeled and ready to be sent to retailers. The next step is distribution, where the boxed Butterfingers are taken to warehouses and stores all over the country. The distribution process works with delivery partners to make sure Butterfinger bars get to stores on time. When the bars arrive at distribution centers, they are sorted according to retailer orders and readied for shipment. Trucks or other vehicles deliver the candy to the stores. During this process, inventory systems track shipments, and warehouses are organized so that bars don't stay too long. This helps ensure that fresh Butterfingers are always available when customers visit the store. Once wrapped and packed, Butterfinger bars are ready to be sent from the factory to the stores. They are shipped in large quantities to distribution centers, where they are stored until orders are ready. The process is set up to deliver Butterfingers to retailers quickly. Depending on where they need to go and how fast they are needed, Butterfinger uses trucks, trains, or sometimes even air freight for delivery. At the distribution centers, Butterfinger bars are sorted and prepared to be sent to stores. The shipping team works with retailers to keep track of inventory and make sure fresh bars are always available. Retailers often order specific amounts to make sure Butterfingers are placed in high-traffic areas like checkout aisles, where they are most likely to catch people's attention. Stores make sure their candy aisles are always stocked with fresh Butterfinger bars, ready to satisfy cravings. Besides regular stores, Butterfinger bars are also sold through vending machines, online stores, and convenience shops. This variety of ways to buy ensures that people can find Butterfingers in many places. Online shopping makes it easy to order Butterfingers and have them delivered to your home or ready for pickup at nearby stores. By offering different ways to buy, Butterfinger makes sure it's always available for both quick purchases and planned snacks. Butterfinger's lasting popularity comes from a mix of its unique texture, clever marketing, and ongoing improvements. The candy's crunchy peanut butter center and smooth chocolate coating create a satisfying and different experience, setting it apart from other candy bars. The crispy, brittle peanut butter filling is one of a kind, making every bite exciting and unforgettable. This unique texture has helped make Butterfinger a favorite treat for many generations of candy fans. Butterfinger has stayed popular partly because of smart marketing. The famous partnership with Bart Simpson in the 1990s helped make the candy a part of pop culture, linking it with mischief and youth. The catchy line, "Nobody better lay a finger on my Butterfinger," still connects with both adults who remember it and younger generations. The product has kept up with the times by adding new versions, like Butterfinger Peanut Butter Cups, and trying different flavors while keeping the key elements fans love. Close attention to quality, from choosing ingredients to packaging and delivery, make sure each Butterfinger bar meets high standards and stays fresh, helping it keep its loyal fans. Butterfinger's success comes from its consistency, boldness, and ability to stay important in a crowded candy market. With its crunchy texture, memorable marketing, and constant new ideas, Butterfinger has stayed a favorite for candy lovers and remains a classic. Stick around, there's even more exciting moments and processes coming up next. KitKat. It started as a simple chocolate-covered wafer. The classic is still loved, but over time, new flavors started popping up. Now there's matcha, cheesecake, and even sake flavors. It's become a treat with endless possibilities. But how is it made? Well, let's see how KitKat is made in a factory. KitKat, the chocolate-covered wafer bar, has a history as layered as the wafers inside. It all started in 1935 in the UK, when Rowntree's, a popular candy company, decided to create a snack for the working class. After the Great Depression, they wanted to make an affordable treat for people who needed a quick snack during their busy days. The first KitKat was a simple chocolate-covered wafer bar called Rowntree's Chocolate Crisp. It wasn't fancy, but it offered the perfect mix of crunch and sweetness. In 1937, the simple chocolate crisp got a makeover. It changed its name to KitKat, a name that stuck for decades and is now linked to taking a break. The origin of the name is unclear. Some believe it came from the KitKat Club, a famous group of political and artistic figures in London in the late 1600s and early 1700s, known for their lively conversations. Others think it was inspired by a 19th century pie called KitKat that was popular in London. Whether from the club or the pie, the name became a symbol of relaxation and the perfect snack break. In the 1940s, KitKat became even more important. During World War II, it became a valuable snack for soldiers. With its wafer filling, it was easy to pack, portable, and lasted a long time, making it perfect for soldiers on the go. KitKat bars became so popular that they were seen as the go-to snack for a quick break during the chaos of war. The simple design provided comfort, and soldiers came to rely on KitKat as their official break treat. After all, everyone needs a moment of chocolatey relief, especially during tough times. After the war, KitKat grew into a global favorite. What started as a popular treat in the UK quickly spread to other parts of the world. By the 1970s, KitKat had reached the United States, where it became one of the country's top candy bars. However, it was in Japan where KitKat truly became a sensation, loved not just for its taste, but for its variety. Japan has introduced over 300 unique flavors, from green tea matcha and sweet potato to sake and wasabi. Don't worry, the classic chocolate and wafer flavor is still available, no matter where you are. The "Have a break, have a KitKat" slogan quickly became a catchy message for snack time all over the world. People didn't just eat Kit Kats, they took a break with them. It seemed like the company had mastered the idea of taking 5. Whenever life got too busy, it became clear that there was always time for a Kit Kat. The slogan made Kit Kat the go-to snack for a moment of peace and relaxation. It wasn't just a candy, it became a reminder to pause and enjoy a little sweetness during a hectic day. Today, Kit Kat has gone from a simple snack for British workers to a global favorite, enjoyed by millions all over the world. Its design, with layers of wafer covered in rich chocolate, has made it one of the most recognizable snacks ever. People have embraced the idea of taking a break, and the brand has become a symbol of taking a moment to relax and treat yourself. So, the next time you break off a piece of Kit Kat, remember, you're not just eating chocolate and wafers, you're enjoying a bit of history. Enough history lessons. Let's unwrap the magic and take a look inside the factory. The process of making a Kit Kat starts with choosing the best ingredients. Nestlé, which bought Roan trees in 1988, focuses on sourcing ingredients in an ethical and sustainable way. The key ingredient in Kit Kat is cocoa, and Nestlé is committed to responsible cocoa sourcing through its Nestlé Cocoa Plan. This plan aims to improve the lives of cocoa farmers, help them farm better, and address environmental issues. It also works to create better working conditions for farmers, especially in areas where child labor has been a concern. Cocoa beans are picked from cacao trees and then fermented to develop their flavor. After fermentation, the beans are dried, cleaned, and sent to factories where they are roasted to bring out their flavor. Roasting is a crucial step that turns the raw beans into cocoa mass, which is used to make chocolate. Nestlé works closely with cocoa farmers and cooperatives to ensure the cocoa is high quality and to reduce the impact of cocoa farming on the environment. They promote shade-grown cocoa farming to protect wildlife, keep soil healthy, and reduce deforestation. Sugar is another key ingredient in Kit Kat that helps give it its sweet taste and smooth texture. It comes from both sugarcane and sugar beets, which are mainly grown in tropical and temperate areas. Nestlé is aware of the environmental impact of sugar production and is working to reduce water use and encourage more sustainable farming practices. The company aims to meet the growing demand for sugar while also addressing environmental and social concerns. Milk powder is another important ingredient that gives Kit Kat its creamy chocolate coating. Nestlé gets its milk powder from dairy farms, which is then mixed with cocoa mass and sugar to make the chocolate. The quality of the milk powder is key to getting the smooth texture Kit Kat is known for. Nestlé also focuses on responsible dairy sourcing, making sure animal welfare and environmental sustainability are a priority. The company combines ethical sourcing with a commitment to keeping the product high quality in making Kit Kat bars. The crunchy wafer in every Kit Kat bar is key to its unique texture and how it feels when you eat it. To make the wafer, dough is prepared by mixing wheat flour with sugar, fats, and starch. The quality of the flour is important because it affects the wafer's final texture. High-quality wheat flour is chosen because it bakes to a light and crispy texture. Large machines mix the dough to make sure all the ingredients are evenly combined before moving on to the next step. Once the dough is ready, it is rolled through machines that flatten it into thin sheets. The thickness of these sheets is important for getting the right texture in the wafer. If the dough is too thin, it can become too brittle when baked. If it's too thick, it won't be crispy enough. The dough needs to stay flexible to bake evenly. The rollers make sure all the wafers are the same size and texture. This careful control of thickness ensures that each wafer bakes evenly and becomes perfectly crispy. After the dough is rolled into thin sheets, it is moved to ovens to bake. The oven temperature and baking time are carefully watched to make sure the wafers get the right crunch. If the wafers are underbaked, they will be too soft. If overbaked, they can become too hard and lose their crispiness. The baking process is tricky, needing just the right amount of time for the wafers to crisp up without drying out. The temperature and timing are adjusted to make sure the wafers stay crispy throughout. After baking, the wafers are cooled to room temperature. This step is important because it helps the wafers harden and stay stable. If they're not cooled properly, they might become soft and lose their crunch when stacked with the other layers of wafer and chocolate. Once cooled, the wafers are cut into evenly sized pieces. These pieces are then ready to be layered with chocolate to form the classic KitKat bar. Handling the wafers carefully at every stage helps them keep their crisp texture and be an important part of the final product. The chocolate coating gives KitKat its unique flavor and smooth finish. It starts with selecting good cocoa beans, which are cleaned and roasted to bring out their best taste. Roasting is important because it affects the flavor and texture of the chocolate. The beans are roasted at just the right temperature to unlock their full flavor. After roasting, the beans are cracked open and the nibs are removed from the shell. These nibs are then ground into cocoa mass, which is used to make the chocolate. The cocoa mass is mixed with other ingredients like cocoa butter, milk powder, and sugar. Together, they make the smooth, rich chocolate that will coat the wafers. The chocolate is then refined in a conching machine, which stirs the mixture for hours at a controlled temperature. This process helps make the chocolate smoother by breaking down the cocoa particles and allows it to develop its full flavor. Conching can take up to 24 hours, depending on how thick or smooth the chocolate needs to be. After the chocolate is conched, it is tempered to get the right texture. Tempering means heating and cooling the chocolate to specific temperatures so it hardens evenly and has a smooth, shiny look. This also helps the chocolate have a nice snap when you break a KitKat bar. Without proper tempering, the chocolate might not set properly and could look dull or crumbly. Once tempered, the chocolate is ready to coat the wafers. Enrobing is when the wafers are covered with smooth, shiny chocolate. The wafers are carefully passed through a flow of chocolate, ensuring they are evenly coated. After that, the chocolate is cooled in tunnels to harden and create the glossy surface on each KitKat. By carefully controlling the temperature and time, the chocolate stays firm and shiny, perfectly matching the crispy wafers inside. The process of putting together KitKat bars starts after the wafers are coated with chocolate. The next step is to stack the wafers into the familiar shape of a KitKat bar. Each layer of wafer is placed carefully to create a smooth and even bar. This is done to make sure the bars have the right texture when you bite into them. Thin layers of chocolate are placed between the wafer layers to hold everything together. This layering technique ensures each bite has a balanced mix of wafer and chocolate. The wafers are cut into exact pieces to make sure each bar is the right size for packaging and shipping. Sharp automated machines do the cutting to ensure every KitKat bar is cut perfectly. This helps with packaging and branding. The size and shape of the bar are important because they make KitKat easily recognizable to people around the world. The cutting process also makes sure the bars fit properly into their wrappers. After the bars are cut, they move down the production line to the wrapping stations. Wrapping is important to keep the KitKat bars fresh and high quality. Each bar is wrapped in a foil layer to protect it from moisture, air, and dirt, which helps keep the chocolate and wafer fresh. The outer wrap has bright, attention-grabbing packaging with the KitKat logo. The packaging is important because it makes the bars look appealing and easy to recognize. After wrapping, the KitKat bars are checked for any mistakes or damage. Quality control ensures that each bar looks good and is fresh. Any faulty bars are removed from the line. The finished bars are then packed into big boxes and prepared for shipping to stores around the world. The packaging helps keep each KitKat bar in perfect condition until it reaches the shelves. Once the KitKat bars are completely made and checked, the packaging process starts. This step is important to keep each bar fresh and in good condition. To protect the product, each KitKat bar is wrapped in a foil layer that blocks out air, moisture, and dirt, which could affect the taste or texture. The foil helps keep the chocolate smooth and the wafer crunchy. After the foil wrap, each bar is placed in an outer package with the bright and well-known KitKat logo. This packaging not only keeps the product fresh, but also catches the attention of shoppers. Its colorful and attractive design helps the product stand out on busy store shelves, making it easy for people to find. The packaging also serves an important purpose in labeling, making sure key details like nutritional facts, ingredients, and expiration dates are easy to read. This helps meet rules and gives shoppers the information they need to make smart choices. The outer packaging is printed with care to keep the KitKat brand looking strong and easy to recognize. This focus on packaging design and labeling is important for maintaining KitKat's brand image around the world. Once wrapped, the bars are packed into big cartons to be transported to distribution centers. In the final steps, the cartons are checked for any damage before being loaded onto trucks, planes, or ships for delivery. This makes sure the KitKat bars arrive in perfect condition. The packaging is key to protecting the bars during transport, stopping any damage that might happen while handling or shipping. Since the first thing a customer notices is the packaging, it's an important part of KitKat's success. The attention given to packaging ensures the product looks fresh and inviting when it arrives, keeping the brand's promise of quality. Quality control is an important part of making KitKat bars. During the production process, the bars are tested at different stages to make sure they meet the brand's high standards. One of the first checks happens after the dough for the wafers is mixed. Samples of the dough are tested for texture, smoothness, and flexibility. If the dough is too stiff or too soft, it can change the final texture of the wafer. Getting the dough just right is important for achieving the perfect crispness when baked, so it's carefully tested. After the wafers are baked, they are tested again to make sure they are crispy enough. Special tools are used to check the texture and make sure the wafers have the right crunch. The chocolate coating is also checked for even thickness and smoothness. The texture of the chocolate is tested to make sure it goes well with the wafers and has the right sweetness and flavor. If any bar doesn't pass these tests, it is taken off the production line. After the KitKat bars are put together, they are visually inspected to make sure they have no defects. This includes looking for any cracks or air bubbles in the chocolate coating and making sure the wafer layers are in the right place. Bars that don't meet the standards are thrown away. The bars are also tested for taste and smell. Experts do blind taste tests to check the chocolate's flavor, making sure it has the right balance of sweetness, bitterness, and creaminess. Finally, before the KitKat bars are packaged, each one is weighed to make sure it meets the correct weight. The packaging materials are also checked for any defects. Proper sealing and labeling are important to keep the bars fresh and maintain the brand's quality. By following strict quality checks at every step of production, KitKat makes sure that every bar that reaches the consumer is of the best possible quality. Once KitKat bars pass all quality checks, they are ready to be shipped to stores worldwide. The distribution process is carefully planned to ensure the bars arrive fresh and on time. After packaging, KitKat bars are packed into large shipping cartons and sent to distribution centers. From there, they are moved to regional warehouses where they are stored in the best conditions to keep the product quality. Nestle uses a worldwide distribution system to get KitKat bars to stores quickly. Depending on where they are going, KitKat bars may be shipped by truck, plane, or ship. Trucks are typically used for local deliveries to supermarkets, while international shipments rely on a mix of air and sea transport to handle large amounts of product. This system must be well organized to make sure KitKat bars are available in the right places when needed. Warehouses and distribution centers are important for managing the supply chain. These facilities are placed in key areas to make sure KitKat bars are available to stores around the world. Nestle uses tracking systems to keep an eye on stock levels, making sure products are restocked on time and that stores don't run out. The products are also stored in climate-controlled spaces to keep the bars fresh and protect them from temperature changes. When KitKat bars arrive at stores, they are unpacked, placed on shelves, and ready for sale. KitKat is available in many supermarkets, convenience stores, and vending machines, making it easy for people to find their favorite snack. The distribution process doesn't end when the product hits the shelves. It continues with managing stock, handling busy seasons, and making sure the bars stay fresh and in stock. KitKat's worldwide availability and reliable system make it a go-to snack for people everywhere. KitKat is popular because of its simple but delicious mix of crunchy wafers and smooth chocolate, offering a perfect balance of textures and flavors that people love. Its bite-sized pieces make it a great snack for quick breaks, and it's enjoyed by people of all ages. The product's steady quality over the years helps make KitKat a trusted choice for many. KitKat's smart marketing, especially the famous slogan, "Have a break, have a KitKat," has made it a part of popular culture. The idea of taking a break has connected with people for years, turning KitKat from just a snack into a symbol of relaxation and fun. This connection with everyday life has helped the product stay popular across generations. KitKat has kept its popularity by constantly introducing new flavors, especially in places like Japan, where over 300 different varieties have been released, including matcha and sake. This ability to try new flavors based on local preferences has kept KitKat interesting and fun, while still keeping the classic taste that people love. KitKat's focus on sustainability and ethically sourcing ingredients like cocoa has made it more attractive to today's environmentally aware shoppers. By following responsible production practices, KitKat has secured its success and relevance in a changing market. Its mix of tradition, new ideas, and ethical values makes it a favorite snack that will continue to be loved worldwide for many years. Now that you've got the inside scoop on KitKat, we've got to ask, what's your go-to KitKat flavor? Do you stick with the classic or love trying the unique ones? Let us know in the comments below. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up. Your thumb gets a workout, and we get the love. And if you haven't subscribed to the Process Powerhouse channel yet, seriously, what are you waiting for? A VIP invitation. Come on, hit that button. Got a factory process you're curious about? Drop it in the comments. We might just make it happen. No promises on a conveyor belt cameo, though.